Hi, friends. Today is Tuesday, November 10th. This is your Module 2, Unit 2, Lesson 3, Reading Informational Text and Launching the Research Process. Here are our learning targets today. I can explain how to determine if an internet source is reliable. I can find the gist and determine the meaning of unfamiliar vocabulary of my animal web page. So think about the word reliable. Reliable means you can depend on something. You can count on it. It works. It's got everything it needs. It's truthful. And then what is the gist? We know the gist is what information is about. And how do we find it? Well, we read it, we hear it, we think about it, and then we write it down. So in your packet of materials that you got in your quarter 2 supply bag, you received these 2 anchor charts. Researchers do these things, anchor chart, and then the choosing and using reliable internet resources anchor chart. These are also in your module workbook. So if you want to look at it in your module workbook, it's page 115. Is the choosing and using reliable internet sources. And then that researchers one, I'm not sure if that's in there or not, but the other one for sure is. The researchers is definitely in your bag. So what do these say? Researchers ask questions about a topic. They determine the structure of the text. They read all the information, picture, the things under pictures, the graphs, the text, all of it. They investigate different aspects of the topic to build knowledge. They choose and use reliable sources. Those reliable sources have a publisher and author, hopefully non-biased. They have copyright. They analyze data and facts. They take information and organize it. They think about how new ideas connect to what they already know. They talk to people about what they've read. They present it clearly, and they cite their sources. So in order to find a reliable internet source, you need to make sure that it's got a publisher and author, that it's got a copyright. You want to get as non-biased as you can, so you get the actual facts and you don't get influenced by what people think, but you just get the real truthful information. So the publisher is who put the information out there. So when we look for websites, we often look for .gov, .org, or .edu websites, because some sources that are published that are .com are reliable, but not all of them are. Like Wikipedia is a .com website that anybody can post information on. It is not a reliable resource. Then the author, we need to know who wrote it. Bias, an internet source that presents both sides of an argument, but it doesn't take a side. Accurate, it has truthful, real information. And timeliness, that means that it's fairly recent, it's not out of date information. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out this website on a millipede, okay? And we're going to use a millipede as our model. We're going to look for pictures, videos, links that might be attached, definitions that might be there. And I will tell you, this website has changed since we used it last year, so it's not as organized as it used to be, and I don't love it. But that's what we're going to look at. Okay, so here we go. Here's our website. All right, now there are some ads, and this is a .com website, but we have searched it over, so it's okay. Just ignore those dogs. Also, look on the right side. Don't you dare buy a dog that costs that much money. Go to the animal shelter if you're going to get a dog. Okay, off my soapbox. So here is the picture of a millipede. There's lots of pictures. You can look through them, and you can see the different ones. Okay. Kind of gross. Pretty nasty. Okay, I'm going to go back. And here it tells us where the millipedes are located. They are located in Africa, in Asia, Central America, in Europe, North America, South America. Okay. All right. It says that they're least concerned about their conservation. That means there's a lot of them. And then here's some facts. So its main prey is decaying plant material. So what does it eat? Decaying plant material, plants and other insects. It likes moist habitat. It's an omnivore. That means it eats plants and animals. That when a millipede is born, there are like 500 of them in the average litter. That's his favorite food, decaying plant matter. There are 10,000 different species of millipedes. You can find them worldwide, except for in Antarctica. And then I don't know about a slogan, but some species have a poisonous bite. Here's its colors: black, brown, yellow, red, black, and orange. And it has an exoskeleton, a hard shell, kind of like the armadillo. Okay, so here's our information. You can see we're going to just kind of quick go through it, and I'm going to actually quickly read it to you. It's not a whole lot. And then we're going to take some notes on it. The millipede is a medium to large-sized invertebrate that is found under rocks and in decaying logs all around the world. The millipede has a long, narrow body, which is made up of segments. The millipede is from the same family as the centipede, but the millipede generally has more legs for its body length than a centipede. The average millipede is between 80 and 400 legs, not 1,000 as the name suggests. The millipede is found all over the world, but is more common in the southern hemisphere, where the millipede has been known to get to nearly 40 centimeters long. Some species of millipede have a poisonous bite, which they use to kill their prey before eating it. Millipedes are most commonly found in cooler, damper, darker places within their environment. Millipedes inhabit areas under rocks, in the leaf litter, in rotting logs, and occasionally in burrows, which are known as microhabitats. The exact number of legs and segments that make up the body of a millipede depend on the millipede species. However, all millipedes are made up in a similar way, with the first sections of the millipede's bodies having one pair of legs, the later sections having two pairs of legs. The legs of the millipede all work together and move in a wave-like motion. The millipede is an omnivorous animal, but it primarily feeds on dead plant material and decaying matter on the forest floor. Millipedes are also known to eat some species of plants that are alive, and larger species of millipede also hunt insects. The millipede has a number of different predators in its natural environment, including birds, badgers, foxes, and small rodents such as shrews and rats. When the millipede feels that it is in danger, it curls up into a spiral, and some species of millipede even release a disgusting smelling liquid that deters many of the animals that prey on the millipede. The female millipede can lay up to 1,000 sticky eggs at once, although the number of millipede eggs laid is, is usually closer to 500. When the baby millipedes hatch, they only have 3 pairs of legs, but they shed their skin as they grow. Each time the baby millipedes shed their skin, they develop more body segments and legs. All right, so what we're going to do now, go back to our slides, and we're going to use this chart to fill it in, okay? Basically, we need to categorize our information, and we need to include the gist of each section. So this isn't sectioned out very well. So what I decided to do was this is on page 3 down here. I decided to write in the different things that it talked about. Okay, so it talked about its body, how it looks, where it lives. It actually talked about it didn't talk about its predators, but it talked about what it eats. And then its body and behaviors to survive, which it didn't give too much of that, but it gave us a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back at the sections, and I'm going to see where it talks about the body, what it looks like, and I'm going to write that down, okay? So it's an invertebrate found under rocks and decaying logs all around the world. It has a long, narrow body, which is made up of segments. So I'm going to write that in. Body is long and narrow, divided into sections. Okay, and then we need to see what color it is, how many legs it has. So it says it has more legs for its body than the centipede. It averages between 80 and 400 legs. The millipede is found. Okay, so this section talks about where it is. I know that we read about the color of the millipede. Well, you know what? I do remember reading it up here. So brown, yellow, red, and black, and orange, and it has a shell. So I'm going to add that in here. The body of the millipede, because I need to make this the gist, right, is long and narrow and divided into sections. It can be red, brown, yellow, or black, and has a hard outer shell. That would be called an exoskeleton. Okay, so there's that section. Now I'm going to go down to habitat. So habitat is where something lives. Okay, so we know that it's found all over the world, okay, except for in Antarctica. And it says, where does it live within its habitat? Usually in the southern hemisphere, they're more common, and it's found in cooler, damper, darker places within the environment. So the millipede can be found on every continent except Antarctica, but is, sorry, I need a comma, found more often in the southern hemisphere. It is, you can find it in cool, damp, dark places in the environment. Okay, so I'm going to space that down a couple because I don't want to be running into that. Okay, predators and prey. Okay, so what does it eat? That would be its prey, right? Well, it eats decaying plant material, plants, and other insects. And then it says here, the millipede has a different number of predators in its natural environment, including birds, foxes, badgers, small rodents. Okay, so the millipede feeds on small insects. What else did it say? Leaf litter and plants, and is hunted by, I'm going to go down, I don't want to say this wrong, birds, badgers, foxes, and small rodents. Small rodents. Okay. All right, and then let's do our last section. So body behaviors to survive. Okay, so this says when the millipede feels in danger, it curls up into a spiral, and some species of millipede even release a disgusting smelling liquid that deters many of the animals that prey on the millipede. Okay, so a millipede curls into a ball or emits a nasty liquid when threatened. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now I've completed that, and that was my example for you. If you want to write that down in your module workbook, you can do that. You would do it on, I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. You would do this on page 117 of your module workbook, okay? You don't have to write it down, but you can if you want. Okay, now the next step is, it is going to be your turn. So you're going to work on reading about the ostrich, and you're going to use this website. It will also be linked in your assignment for the day, okay? And when you go in, you're going to look for, I would just X out of that, or if you have to, okay? You're going to look at the pictures. You can check those guys out. They're super cool. Oh, look at that dude. He's not happy about being behind that fence. Okay. And then you're going to read about him, his description. So if I were you, as you're working, this is how you're going to find the gist of description. Okay. And then you'll find the gist of biology. And you'll find the gist of ostrich range and habitat. Okay. And then even threats, conservation, and that's it. So you're going to have the gist of about 6 sections, okay? So just read them and then write what they're about. It doesn't have to be super detailed and specific. I just did that because it was easier because mine wasn't. It didn't have a lot of information. So yours probably won't be quite as detailed as mine. And where are you going to do that? Well, you're going to flip to page 86 of your module workbook. And you are going to record the gist in page 86 of your module workbook. Make sure you use Ostrich description as the paragraph title on the left-hand column, okay? After you're done with that, just remember that the purpose of research reading is to build background knowledge and vocabulary on a topic so that as we continue to read, we can read more and more complex text on that topic, and we can talk in an educated fashion about what we're reading. Thanks, friends. Hope you had a great EL lesson.